Okay. Uh, okay, guys. Thank you very much for joining this session. This workshop is on basics of process simulation in chemical industry. About the Dreamweavers, we call it as a universe of dreams. So Dreamweavers is a kind of consultancy, India-based consultancy. So the Dreamweavers is based in India, and we are guiding the fresh engineers and those students right from the CV preparation to the interview preparation. So interview preparations in both ways, like a technical as well as some HR and some attitude behavior related, and ethical behavior, integrity values, do's and don'ts in industries, because this is very important when we are transiting from the college life to the corporate life. It is very important that there are some thin lines between do's and don'ts. Okay. And you can see all these things are related to the leadership quality. Okay, anyway, you are an engineer now. Down the line you will become the leaders, you will become the managers. So these virtues and these skills are very important to have, like ethical behavior, integrity values, do's and don'ts in industry, like or attitude and approach, then confidence building, decision making. So basically we are working on these things. We are helping engineers to get this knowledge and to become skillful in these areas. So mostly we are covering all the branches. We are working with all the disciplines. Those are related to the chemical industry. So like chemical, mechanical engineering, civil engineers, then instrumentation engineer, electrical engineers. So you might be knowing that these all engineers are working with in or other way with the chemical industry. The next is about myself. Myself Sandeep Gundap. I am a chemical engineering graduate from Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and I did postgraduate diploma in process engineering, and then I did my masters in philosophy. And so in total, I have 16 years of experience, and I have experience in the field of production and then simulation, process engineering, process control engineering, and then consultation on and advanced solutions. Consultation on advanced solutions means if you think about the chemical industry, there are two levels, we can say. One is like operators and workers, and another is the managers. Those are shift in charge and managing the plant. So there are many systems used for the operators, and there are other systems which are used for used by the managers. So advanced solutions are some tools, those are useful for the managers. So this type of systems I have developed in my career. I work with industries like Reliance Industries in India, then Honeywell India, then Mitsubishi Yokogawa in Singapore, and Toyo Engineering Chiyoda Corporation, then Japan Gas Corporation is in Japan. And I work in countries started in India, then South Africa, Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar, Brunei, and currently I am based in Japan. The purpose of this workshop, so this is basically a very basic introduction to the process simulation. Okay, and I can say it is useful for the students or those who don't know anything about the simulation. Okay, that's why at the start itself I told that we will not go in details. Okay, it will help you to decide, or it will help you to means make a decision on to go with any simulation course, or means to gain that knowledge or not, and how the future path will be if you get that knowledge. So to get that kind of judgment, this is very useful. Then we will see how simulation work, and then applications and uses of simulation, and then some simulation tools and the companies who develop that tool, that we will see, and simulation of some basic equipments, means how to simulate the equipments. Basic equipments means like pumps, heat exchangers, compressor, distillation column, vessel, and we will see what is the career or future scope for the simulation. So let me start with what is the simulation. So simulation means now I am not talking about the simulation related to the chemical industry. Simulation in overall is like a replica. Okay, you are making a replica of any actual system that will be used for the purpose that is developed. Okay, so this is a software based, so definitely it is a garbage in and garbage out. So you might be knowing the meaning of this phrase, that if you give the correct inputs, then only it will give you correct outputs. So it's a software based, and it is applicable in many fields like healthcare and medical, then heavy machineries, and then heavy industries, or to train the pilots in means how to take off and land the aeroplanes. And obviously in chemical industry we know, then automobile industry, big electrical companies also. So here are some examples. So this is a horse riding simulator. So before going to actual horse riding, or let's say next example is a flight simulator to train the pilot. So why simulation is required, that will come in the next slide. So but yes, you can guess why it is required, and these are some examples that without using actual system we are training the people, or we are developing such a system that will look like exactly as a same world. So now we will come to the process simulations related to our chemical industry, chemical plant. Okay, means it includes oil and gas, or refinery, petrochemicals, or pharmaceuticals, so all chemical processes. And it is simulation is used for design of process or equipment. Design of process means it may have many equipments or some process, and equipment may be one single equipment. Then analysis of the plant operation means we can do analysis of the plant, running plant operation. Hello. Okay, please mute yourself. Okay, so analysis of the plant operation means if there is a running plant and if we have actual data, plant operation data, based on that we can do some analysis. So optimization, next point is optimization of overall process. So based on the actual data, or based on the current data from the plant, we can do optimization. So optimization, a little bit more about the optimization is like whenever any plant or any equipment is designed, so there are margins for that. So let's say if one plant is designed for the 100 tons per day, so that plant will have some capacity more than 100 tons per day. Okay, maybe 105, 107 tons. So this is just one example, not exactly this is a optimization, this is one of the example. Or let's say utility consumption, if we have a reboiler, or if we have a condenser and we are using utilities, steam and cooling water, so design conditions may vary from the actual conditions. So how we can operate that heat exchanger, and if we can able to save some utilities. So this kind of optimization simulation is used to do this kind of optimization. And why simulation is required? Okay, now it's question for you. You can use the chat box. Just quickly, can you tell why simulation is required? Any kind of simulation. Now we saw that like flight simulator, horse riding, or in chemical industry.
Hello, boss.
Yes.
Yeah, why simulation is required? So simulation is required before going to start any main plant. So like we'll start with the pilot plant, then with the simulation, what are the problems we are facing. So we will troubleshoot it and it will implement in the main plant, so that it will not affect the major equipment.
Okay, so yes, correct. But I think you gone one step ahead. It's a use of simulation, or after developing the simulation. Yes, you are correct. But my basic question is why simulation is required. Means let's say if we are saying that I need to train my pilot to take off and landing the aeroplane. So the basic question is why it is required, and answer is in many cases we cannot use the actual system. Okay, we cannot use the actual system because there is a risk is involved. So basic answer is first level answer is like many cases we cannot use the actual system. The same case is in our chemical plant or chemical industry also. So many situations will be there, like for example PSV. We say that okay, this PSV will open at a 10 bar, but every time to, let's say, to train the operators or to show that situation, we cannot raise the temperature to 10 bar and then we cannot show that okay, now see the PSV is popping up. So this kind of things, so just example, so this kind of things can be simulated and used for the training is a one thing. Okay, now latter part comes that you told that yes, to optimize, to check the risk involved and to check the how the new parameters will be established and developed. So yes, that is also correct. Next is how it works principle. So Gopal Krishnan, please mute yourself. Okay, so how it works, what is the basic principle? So what we are using for the simulation, like we say HYSYS, we say Aspen, we say HTRI, Proto Mini. So those are actually ready-made softwares. Means those are developed, those are made ready, and then we are using. Same like Word or Excel. Okay, so that is called simulation. But how it works, behind that there is a program. There are differential equations. Whatever we learned in a thermodynamics and all the mathematics we learn, all the differential equations we learn in a whole engineering. So those are written behind that software, and that writing that software is a modeling, because many times we see these two words together, like in academic subjects or sometimes in a job profile we see that simulation and modeling engineer is required, or something simulation and modeling as one of the subject we see. So basic difference of simulation and modeling is that simulation that you are using the application, and modeling is to develop that application. Okay, and definitely to develop that application there is a different platform, and for that will be computer engineer will be working, and along with chemical engineering, all the aspects. Means basically computer engineering plus chemical engineering together is a development of the software. Okay, so basically chemical and physical properties of the all the chemical components, okay, that forms and mathematical model. So this together forms the software, and that we use as a simulation. And that software is used for, means what that software does actually, that does the material and heat balance. Whatever means we give the flow rate, we give the pressure and temperature. So based on that it calculates based on those equations. Means when we say the reactions, there if there is a first order reaction, second order reaction, so whatever we have written the equations, based on that and based on our inputs to the simulation, it calculates and it gives the result. Okay, so all the simulations, means simulation softwares that we see in a market, so basically those include all the equations for mostly all processes and operations. Okay, means when we say shell and tube heat exchangers, and there are many types of TEMA heat exchangers, so for every type, for every selection of heat exchanger, there are equations written in the most of the simulations. Okay, nowadays what happens, there are some proprietary equipments are there. There are some newly developed equipments. Let's say in case of LNG plants, LNG terminal is there. So there are some rack vaporizers. These are not kind of regular heat exchangers. So for that, let's say I want to simulate that plant, I want to simulate that equipment, then it may be required that I have to write some new equations. I have to use some new equations. So what I mean to say is, basically standard simulation softwares, they have all the standard equipments and standard processes what we use in a chemical engineering. Next is a simulation. There are two types of simulations. Means what? Just let me check some questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
My name is Naveen.
Yes, Naveen Kumar.
Sir, I have one basic question, sir. What is the basic difference between simulation and optimization, sir?
Okay, simulation and optimization. Okay, simulation means you are creating a virtual. Let's say you take one example, heat exchangers. You are taking, you are simulating a heat exchanger. Means you have some data, or you need to calculate some data for that heat exchanger. Let's say you are going to design the heat exchanger. Okay, so based on that data, based on that requirement, first you are giving inputs and you are trying to calculate what is your requirement. Okay, so that is a, let's say, I can say simulation. Okay, now one step ahead is there is one exchanger. Okay, now that the heat exchanger is designed, let's say I am a design engineer, a process engineer, I am designing heat exchanger. So basically what I am doing, let's say, okay, it's question for everyone again, that when we are saying that we are designing heat exchanger, what exactly we are doing? What is our target point in case of designing the heat exchanger? To calculate heat transfer area, exactly, yes. So basically we are calculating required heat transfer area for the required process. But required process means what? We have some inlet outlet temperature, inlet outlet flows, and we know the inlet outlet parameters of that chemical what we are using. Okay, based on that I am trying to means I am designing heat exchanger, and at the end, let's say I came to my result that the 200 meter square area is required. Okay, so I calculate again and again just to cross verify. Let's say I'm checking with my senior also, my manager also. So that is also saying that okay, 200 meter square area is sufficient for this kind of process and this kind of requirement. Okay, but still there are some rules, means designing companies, and let's say some thumb rules that we are putting some margin in that. Even though 200 is sufficient, I am designing heat exchanger, or I am preparing for the fabrication of 205 meter square, or let's say 210 meter square. Okay, just to means it should not be under design. That's why we are keeping some margin. Okay, now based on these calculations, the whole plant is now built and operation is started. Okay, now owner or client know that, means company owner know that this plant is designed for some higher capacity. Okay, some higher capacity. Design capacity is, yes, let's say 100 tons per day. As I told, I think earlier also I told these things. This plant designed is 100 tons per day production. Okay, but there is a possibility that we can produce 105 tons, or let's say 107 tons. So whatever extra will be produced, let's say 5 tons or 10 tons, that will be the cream for the owner. Okay, this is a one kind of, means if you calculate these things in it comes in a economics, one thing. This is a optimization to try. Okay, this is just in a simple way. Okay, in simple way, there are many things you need to create, many scenarios you need to create, you need to take many case studies, and this is on one side. Another side, let's say the same heat exchanger, now if it is having some design margin, and design, let's say it is a reboiler, and the required steam is a 20 tons per hour. Okay, and let's say we are optimizing, and then let's say I try to simulate with, let's say, to simulate, or what you can say, check the scenario, what will happen if I use 19.5 tons per hour. Okay, if I am getting the same quality at a top product, then yes, we can operate that heat exchanger with 19.5 tons instead of 20 tons. So 0.5 tons of steam saving per hour. Okay, if you calculate it to per month, or if you calculate it to the annual, it comes in millions of dollars. So this kind of things like a optimization. Okay, trying to utilize the margin maximum. Okay, in a very simple language. Okay, in a very simple language, it is not so easy, but it is in very simple language I can tell this answer. Next one is, okay, simulation. So when we say simulation, there are two types of simulation: steady state simulation and dynamic simulation. What is a steady state simulation? It calculates the results in a one shot. Means if you change the input, it will give you results immediately. Okay, and it will stay there, means simulation will stay there, it will not change further results. Okay, and it calculates the results at an equilibrium state. So that's why it's like a steady state. The word itself is, I think, self-explanatory. Then these results do not change with time. So changes occurs when you change the inputs only. So let's say if you change pressure, temperature parameter, let's say composition, then only the changes occurs. And this kind of simulation is used for the equipment, piece of equipment, only one piece is there, means one equipment is there for such kind of equipment design, or a heat and material balance preparation. Like, because if you have one plant, that raw material, reactor, then let's say stripping and absorption and stripping is there, and then distillation is there, then what will happen if I change my raw material or reactants in inlet of the reactor, what will happen to my distillation, so that we need to check in a one shot, or let's say in continuity. In that case, so this kind of things are used for the heat and material balance preparation. So in that case, a steady state is used. Okay. Then dynamic simulation is the changing the results with respect to time. Means even you don't change the inputs or values to the software, it changes because of, let's say, dynamic situation, like a level change in a column or vessel. So it gives results, what you can say, it changes the results with respect to timing. So even if small changes occur, whole process is changing. So because it's more and more complicated calculations are there, so it has some complex calculations. So startup or shutdown conditions of the plant can be checked or can be developed with dynamic simulation. And whatever the changes due to the reaction, changes due to the temperature change, or the changes due to the let's say ambient temperature change, so those will be accounted, and then results will be changed. So this is used for the designing a whole process. Designing the whole process means if you are starting from the scrap, or let's say you are developing new system, so this kind of dynamic simulations is used. Troubleshooting, control strategy development, operator training. Troubleshooting means if there is a running plant, it is having some problem, operation problem, so you can create some scenario with the actual data from the plant. You can create the scenario in a simulation, and with the dynamic simulation you can check whether you can mitigate the problem, or where you should attack, or what could be the problem, something like that. Then control strategy development means in a chemical plant we know that we have one process, those that involve chemicals, and another supplementary or supporting system is automation of the plant to run the plant automatically. So that is called control system. So control system, next step is means more detail. It includes controls. Controls means to control the parameters, analog parameters, let's say pressure, temperature, all those things. Then shutdown means, let's say there are some valves, those are used for the on and off only, and maybe in case of emergency only. So that comes. Then again fire and gas also there, then sometime emergency depressuring also there. So all this together comes the control system. So to check this kind of safety system, yes, we can see it safety system, or whatever logic or controls we have developed, or we are going to implement in a plant, whether it will work or not, that we can verify using dynamic simulation. And then operator training, I have next slide for special for operator training. Okay, operator training simulator, OTS, you might have heard this word. So the base is for this OTS is a dynamic simulation, and as the name itself, it is used to train the new manpower, maybe new operator, new engineers, or people transfer from other plant to another plant. So so we can train the operators for normal startup of the plant. Let's say we are starting from the zero. The normal shutdown of the plant, how to shut down normally. Then let's say if there is a emergency shutdown, then what should be the actions by operator. And let's say plant is running normally, then what are the parameters need to be monitored. All those things can be done, means people can be trained on the OTS. Okay, so this is used to optimization of control schemes and logic validation, just now I explained. APC is advanced process control, is again it's a kind of part of optimization, we can say. And what if analysis means, okay, if plant is see, in most of the chemical plants is not the situation that for months the plant is running very normally. There are always problems, so definitely you have a lot of works to do, means in actual plant also, or as a, let's say, depending on your role. Means if you are supporting the production, then your role may be different. If you are in a production, or you are a production engineer, then your role will be different. But there are some situations, or there will be some opportunities that you can check the what if analysis. What if analysis means, if we change some parameters. If we operate or if we change something in the plant, okay, mostly you can do with operating conditions, okay. Means changing the physical conditions will not be allowed many times, but if required or if feasible, yes, we can change some physical conditions. Physical conditions means what I mean to say, like let's say if one pipeline is connected to the bottom of the column, then can we connect it to middle of the column or top of the column? See, this kind of physical changes, okay. And what I was talking about, the operating parameter changes like pressure, temperature. So there is a handle to change in these parameters. So what will happen if we change this kind of parameters? So that kind of analysis can be done by using OTS. So definitely for that you need actual plant data. You have to develop the model as same as the actual plant, and then you have to play with that, okay. So exact replica of plant. So OTS, it includes both things, like your chemical model as well as the control systems, similar to the exact plant, your actual plant, okay. There are some limitations, but at least I can say 85-90% you can make a replica of your plant, okay. And it includes process model, control system, emergency shutdown system, just now explained the, okay, limitations. So limitations like physical things, mechanical things, okay, like pump vibration or compressor vibration. These are not related to the chemical phenomena or chemical system. These are machinery related. So there is a problem. We can have some trigger to show that there is a compressor vibration, but we cannot say like PSV pop-up we can show, because we know that the system pressure is increasing and it is reaching to the pop-up set pressure of the PSV, and PSV is popping up, that we can show. But vibration is not related to the process, that's why there is a limitations. Of fire and gas system also, yes, means basically what we can say, those scenarios, those are not occurring regularly, okay. Those there is a limitation to show that in a OTS. Then here are some softwares, those are in the market. This is very small list, there are many. Just this is, I can say, this famous one I have listed here, the Aspen HYSYS and Aspen Plus by Aspen Tech, then Unisim Design by Honeywell, and then Asset and DSpice by Kongsberg. Kongsberg is mainly in upstream side exploration. Then ChemCAD, ChemStations, and then you can see the use and application, whether it is used for the steady state or dynamic or both, or only for optimization, something like that. So Pipe Sim and Pipe Flow by Schlumberger, these are used for especially used for the pipeline simulations. Then PetroSim, again KBC consultants. Then this Dynesim Pro 2 and Romeo, these are by Aviva. Aviva is a new name. Earlier it was a Schneider, and before that it was a Invensys. Romeo is used for the optimization, real-time optimization, RTO we can say. So these are some softwares. Careerscope, I think I no need to explain it much, because just let's say in last 20-25 minutes what we saw the application, what is the simulation and what are the applications of the simulation. So we can see where we can work if we have that kind of knowledge, like a process engineers who design the equipments they need. Then dynamic simulation engineer in some companies, especially these kind of posts are there, openings are there for the engineering studies or dynamic studies. OTS developer, yes, Honeywell or Yokogawa, many companies are there. Process control engineer to develop the control philosophy and control strategy. And then basic engineering companies, those who are licensor, those who develop the new processes. Then detail engineering companies means like design companies like Toyo or Chiyoda or Techni, many are there. So technical service in production plant. Technical services name may be different in different companies. Sometimes it is a task force or center technical services or technical services, like that. And then APC engineer, yes, APC engineer also to develop APC. Okay, see, APC is actually implemented on a running plant or actual plant, but to have some base data, some base models, we can use OTS to develop some base knowledge, base models. So yes, the APC engineers also need to have knowledge of simulation.